Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you and yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live post a new video. So in today's live stream, we're going to be discussing the movie Uncharted. So yes, this is a movie review. It stars Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg and a whole host of other people. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives book and Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. So yes, let's crack on with today's movie review. So Uncharted. I went to see this on a self-date for International Asexuality Day. And I'm going to do a review about it. Now, don't forget, if you don't want to see spoilers, you don't want to know what happens in the movie, please do not watch this video. Watch it after you've seen the film. So I'm going to go into the movie now. What happens? So Tom Holland is the main star. He plays the main character. And in the beginning, it's really action-packed in the beginning. Like, I really liked the opening sequence, which was basically he was trying to climb up cargo that had dropped out of a plane, and he was dangling through the air trying to cling to it while he's got these guys trying to kill him. And I thought the opening sequence was absolutely fantastic, full of action. Tom was really amazing. Absolutely loved that scene. However, it then switched to him going backwards to being a younger kid, like 15 years ago, when he was with his brother and they were in like this kids' home, and his brother got into trouble again and he had to separate from his brother. So you then get taken back to 15 years later when the character Tom plays is an adult and he's no longer with his brother and he's working in this bar as bartender. And I have to say, Tom Holland was absolutely amazing throughout the whole film of Uncharted. If you love Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man usually, you will absolutely adore the movie from that point of view. Tom was amazing. He's got really big muscles in part of the movie. Like, I was quite shocked because obviously in Spider-Man, he's quite thin and skinny. In this one, he's really bulked up, really big. And he's obviously purposely looks older, even though he's got a boyish face all the time. Very good looking. Really good at pouring cocktails in the character and really good at doing all the stunts and the action. He is the reason that I liked the film. In terms of if there is a reason to like the film, it's him. He was absolutely sensational. I absolutely loved all the action with him. And so, so as he's grown up 15 years later, his brother's no longer with him. He works in this bar, making these cocktails. He's really, really good at chucking these bottles around, making drinks, and he's chatting to this girl, this young woman, and she's outside and he steals her bracelet. In walks this guy who then knows he's been stealing, who is Mark Wahlberg's character. And he basically knows he's stolen the bracelet, and he knows Tom's character's brother from years ago. He knows of him, but Tom's character doesn't know at this present time. So anyway, Mark Wahlberg, who plays his character, lures Tom's character into doing some work for him, and that is to find a treasure. So he tells Tom's character that basically there's treasure that your brother was trying to get and it's not been got, and so there's these gold coins and everything everywhere, and are you going to help me get it or not? And so that's when Tom's character decides to go with Mark Wahlberg's character, and they both end up in trouble with people trying to kill them, coming after them in order to get this treasure. And on the way, it's hard because they don't really trust each other. And then there's this woman who joins them who is trying to steal this key. They have to collect these couple of keys, which unlock the meant to unlock doors towards the treasure, like they go on a treasure hunt, and they have to steal the one of the keys. And so it's quite a lot of chasing and running and stuff, right? So Tom Holland's character is amazing, but overall I have to say I was disappointed in the film Uncharted. I have to say that. I don't usually say that. I usually love nearly all the films I watch in some way. I usually really, really like them. But for me personally, if Tom Holland wasn't in the movie, there wouldn't be much point in me seeing it. I didn't think the storyline was very good. I thought it was quite boring. And the beginning part is really interesting, but the actual story was lagging. It was very slow paced. And the treasure, basically, they're trying to search underground, just under normal ground for this treasure. And to me, it just was boring. It's like I expected from the trailers that they would be going on the sea very quickly, and they would be going like on this pirate type ship, and they would be literally searching for treasure and have people coming after them, and it would be like lots of fighting and action to do with the ship, and it would be like Pirates of the Caribbean more, and and it would be really really, really good action sequences in the sea and everything like that. But I was really disappointed. The sea bit was at the very, very end, and so it wasn't much of the film. And I just thought this is boring, like trying to like go through rooms to find, like go through underground tunnels just to find some treasure, which wasn't there in the end anyway. It was just boring. It's like, well, in my city in the UK, in Exeter, excuse me, they have something called underground passages, which is where you go and look at, passages that go under the city. And it's basically just like that, but they, made it dark, and you've got like candles, and there's some cobwebs there, and it looks really dark and a bit spooky, and at one point, you think the water's going to swallow them up, but you then know that it's not really, because you know that Tom Holland's character is central to the film, so you don't really think he's going to die, because the whole point is they're going to try and get treasure, and they're not really even that close to it yet, in my opinion. So, if it wasn't for Tom Holland, I wouldn't rate this film very much at all. I would find it quite boring. I don't think it's worth paying $7.99 to go and see it unless you love Tom Holland. For me, it was really lacking in oomph, lacking in a lot of like, there wasn't any car chases really that I remember. There's a lot of films that got a lot of on your seat action. A lot of this was very much like, very much kind of like, how can I put it, like old school fighting and stuff, like swinging from chandeliers and smacking someone, and kind of like that type of really old-fashioned violence. I don't condone violence, but obviously I'm watching an action movie, and so like I prefer action movies that have got like car chases, motorbike chases, like people, like really fast action. And like I said, the opening sequence was amazing. I thought that was going to be the rest of the film, and I was like disappointed. At the end, that opening sequence comes back like 15 minutes, I think it's towards the end, to because it's basically they go back in time to reveal why he's got to that stage. But I just thought it's a boring storyline. His brother's gone after treasure. His brother's got lost. People suspect him as dead. This guy wants a treasure for himself, has come into contact with his brother. And so basically, they're going off to find the treasure together. They go through some underground passages. It's not there. And then eventually they work out the coordinates, and from some postcards that their brother sent them, the brother that's supposed not be there anymore. And then they find the treasure. And the ending action's not too bad. It's quite good, some of the ending action. But kind of like the majority of the film was boring to me. I thought this is really slow. It's not really worth the money. If it was like a $2.99 film, that would be passable. But to pay full price for that type of movie, I was just really disappointed. And all the time I'm thinking, like, is his older brother really dead? Really? Because I don't think he probably is. And then when the credits all happen, and everyone's nearly walked out the cinema, I always stay for the credits, and you find out that his brother's in jail somewhere and is still writing postcards to him. So clearly his brother's not dead. And then there's a little bit at the end where, again, another part of the credits where Tom Holland's character is with Mark Wahlberg, and they get into trouble again in this room with this guy who wants to take their necklace off that their brother gave them. And Mark Wahlberg's character shows up, and basically they end up turning the guns on these people, and then they see someone, and that's how it ends. And I presume the person they're seeing is the woman that's come back, one of the women that's come back into it, either the baddie or the woman they couldn't trust, but she, you know. So yeah, there's a bad woman and there's a woman that's kind of like 50-50. She's out for herself really, but she's got some good qualities. So overall, I personally don't think it's worth the money to go and see it at the cinema. I think if it comes out on DVD and it's a few pounds, then that's fine. But I wouldn't rush out to go and see it unless you're a huge Tom Holland fan. Then you probably really want to see it because he's really like loads of women would think buff in this. He's really got a lot of muscles. They purposely show his chest naked. He's still got the boy next door look on his face. The action sequences with him is amazing. I mean, he held the whole film up. There's no doubt about that. He was incredible. His actual, running from one building to the other was amazing. He's swinging on these like lights at one point. And so, from the point of view of action surrounding Tom himself, it was incredible. He really did extremely well. And I don't know how he did all those things. I presume, he had a stunt double from what I could see in the credits, but it was just sensational. And so that was a highlight of the whole movie for me, is just watching Tom's face and appreciating him, and thinking Zendaya is pretty lucky to have him in real life, but yeah, he's very, very good looking, very good looking. I'm not used to liking a guy with muscles, but he's all right. But yeah, so Tom Holland made it for me. So if you're a huge Tom Holland fan, then yes, I'd recommend seeing it because, you're going to get your money's worth because he's the star of the show and he's like on screen lots, and he is in like got no clothes on his top if you're into looking at guys' chests. And, they're purposely showing a lot of shots where he would look really good looking. And he holds the whole film together and does lots and lots of action sequences, action that would pretty much blow your mind, jumping from building to building and all that type of thing. And so that is in that sense, in the old-fashioned sense. But like for me, there wasn't enough action overall. There wasn't enough like hard-hitting action where I was on the edge of my seat. I like the underground passages bit where the treasure is so boring. I thought a child could have written this, It's just like a child's playground. Oh, mummy and daddy, let's go underground for a bit. Let's look through these caves, It was just boring. I'm like, this is just so unoriginal. I hate it when they do that and they normalize things, like that. They normalize caves with supposed treasure. If I'm going to see a treasure hunt, I want to see a proper treasure hunt, where they're actually going to different islands and they're going to different places, not in their city, and they're going out trying to find treasure, not blooming underground passages, which are just so boring, So I mean, Indiana Jones is much better than that, in that way. So yeah, it's not. I put one to watch, hashtag one to watch, but if it's Tom Holland, I'd definitely say watch it if you're a huge Tom Holland fan, because you'll just love gawking at the screen. But if you're hoping for some miracle like story that's really gripping and got you on the edge of your seat, and it's kind of like non-stop action, pounding your heart type of action, then you just forget it, really. And clearly they're going to do more of the series. I only hope the next one is better because this one was boring in some places. However, like I said, I do really like Tom Holland a lot, so I really loved watching him. I do think he's very aesthetically beautiful with his face, and he seems to be really good at acting in loads of different roles, really incredible, specialized, highly specialist skilled actor. And that was great to see, really great to see. So if it comes out on DVD and it's just a few pounds, then I recommend seeing it. But if it's like full price, I wouldn't buy it at full price unless you love Tom Holland so much. So yeah, that's my review. No sex, from what I remember. No sex. No sex. And so I don't think there was any nudity from what I can remember. There was a couple of women in it, but I don't think they were naked at all at any point. I'm trying to think, but I'd kind of block stuff out like that if there was. But no sex and nudity as far as I can remember. It's a certificate 12 anyway, or 12A. So yeah, anyway, that's my review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful anyway. If you've seen the film Uncharted, I'd love to know what you think. Apparently it's based on a video game, my best asexual friend said. So if you have seen it, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments and you know, tell me what you found good about the movie. Tell me what you thought wasn't so good about the movie. Tell me whether you liked it overall or not. If you thought it was amazing, please tell me why. Other than Tom Holland. And yeah, I look forward to seeing your next video live stream. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And don't forget to pop a comment below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thumbs up. And you know, don't forget to hit the bell icon after you subscribe so you can hear many more videos, including videos about reviewing no-sex movies. Also videos about relationships, dating, asexual life, and how to improve it. And so, yeah, you get asexual entertainment here, information, education, and all-round aciness. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.